Would you guys believe me if I told you that the topic of today's video is not as urgent as it usually is, because I know that we typically like to push into things like this very aggressively and start trying very desperately to point out anything and everything we can that might possibly cause some negative opinions to arise from the community. But with this one, I would say it's really not that big of a deal in the slightest. I feel like I still need to talk about it because it's something that I personally really dislike. And to be honest with you, this has been an ongoing issue. This has been something that I've seen people kind of mentioning, bringing up every now and then for at least, I think, 2 years at this point. And even sometime a year ago, 2 years ago, I remember making a video very briefly about this as well, because we are talking about the games page and the way that it's currently being sorted, because as you may or may not know, when you go to the games page right now, or I mean, it's been renamed to the Discover page, but if you visit the Discover page right now, the tab at the very top is Most Engaging, and it has been that way for quite a long while at this point. But for the people who don't know this, maybe you just haven't been on Roblox for that long, or maybe you just completely forgot, but the tab that used to sit at the top was the Popular tab, and they completely mixed up the entire arrangement of all of these tabs on the games page quite some time ago now. And in the video that I made about it back then, I very vaguely remember mentioning about how I'm probably gonna get over this very quickly, probably before the week even ends. But now, it's been well over a year since they changed the way that the games page is set out, and I'm still not used to it. I still expect to open up the games page and see Popular sitting at the top, but obviously that's not the case, and it's probably never going to be the case again. And so now you guys can probably understand why I say that this is really not that big of a deal, and it's not urgent even in the slightest. And that's why it's kind of taken me so long to talk about this, because it doesn't change anything other than the fact that I feel mildly, I guess, uncomfortable by the way that it's being sorted, purely because I'm a little bit disoriented the second I open the games page and the Popular tab is not sitting right there. But I think the final nail in the coffin was the way that they changed the homepage recently, because if you visited the homepage before, you know, the page where it has your friends and even your own avatar and username at the top, the very first tab, it's still the same. It says continue, which is basically your recently played games, which is fine. I'm glad that that is there, and I hope that that's always there. If they ever change that, that's when I feel like that's when riots will start to break out, and it's probably for good reason as well, because that should never change. But previously, underneath your recently played games, it used to show your favorite games, and then underneath that it would show the games that your friends had been visiting. But now favorites is all the way at the bottom, which I have to scroll at least 5 whole times just to reach the bottom. And I don't know if I'm just missing something or if my homepage is glitched right now, but the games that my friends have visited is no longer here. Like, it's just, the tab is completely gone, and I don't know how long it's been gone for, but I haven't noticed up until right now. So now on your homepage, you have continue, which is, like I said, your recently played games, and underneath that, the very first tab that I can see besides my own games is Real World Roleplay, which consists of Brookhaven Roleplay, New House, Livetopia, Meep City, Twilight Daycare, Aqualiana, that one, and Club Roblox. None of these games interest me. None of these games have ever interested me. They are absolutely showing this tab to the wrong person, and it kind of confuses me a lot, because right underneath the Real World Roleplay tab is the Recommended for You tab. So if I have my recommended the games that Roblox are recommending me to play, why are they placing that right underneath, out of sight, underneath games that I'm not interested in playing? And then moving on, there is just, I mean, it's basically the games page is on my homepage, and I remember briefly mentioning this in a different video before, but I've never fully gone into detail as to why this is so annoying. But yeah, it's very weird. I think the way that the games page is set out, I still will never understand why they moved the Popular tab down to the 4th row, because this is clearly a tab to showcase the most popular games on Roblox. So why are they pushing that out of sight unless you scroll down a little bit? But instead, they are showing you Most Engaging. Once again, we get to see the Recommended for You tab, which I have to mention right now, I don't understand how they get the games for this recommended for you tab, because in my recommended tab we have, okay, Bloxburg and Pet Simulator X, I understand why they are in there, but the fact that they are in my recommended section when I've played them before quite a lot also doesn't make sense. But the rest of my recommended games, they are picked straight out of the real world roleplay tab. We have Brookhaven, Adopt Me, even Mip City. So I want to know, I'm very curious to know how Roblox chooses the games that get recommended to people, because nothing about my history on Roblox would ever mean that those specific games should get recommended for me. I don't know, I really have no idea how the recommended tab is supposed to work. Maybe it's set out the same way for everyone, and perhaps these are just games that Roblox themselves recommend to every single player on the platform, but the way that it's worded kind of makes it seem like it should be games that they would be recommended to you based on the games that you have previously played or previously liked or favorited. But clearly, based on my own Roblox history, that is not the case. That's not how this works. Like I said, it really doesn't change anything, and that's why it's taken me so long to talk about this, because I kept pushing it away because it's not urgent. There was far more important matters. Other than being a very, very slight minor inconvenience to me personally, I don't see how this changes anything really. But of course, please tell me what you think about the way that the homepage is currently laid out, and also the games page, because I do not like either of them. So one more time, please make sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe, because I will always appreciate the love and support that you guys give me, and you know what? It helps me out a lot. But I'm making of the games page basically being copy and pasted onto our home pages. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.